Hello, I wanted to do a short video on this bike. This bike is a Tour Easy, but it's not a Tour Easy. Let me explain, okay? At one point in time, both Rands and Easy Racers made a large percentage of their bicycles overseas, over in Taiwan. Most bike frames are built over there. All the parts are over there. It was just an easier way to do it. Rand's bikes were branded Rands, and you had to look for the Made in Taiwan badge to see what you were getting. And by the way, I make that sound like, oh my God, you're getting a Taiwanese bike. No. The Taiwanese frames, there might have been a recall or two on a couple of them that I don't know about, but by and large, they were built like tanks. One of the side effects of that was they were kind of heavy when compared to maybe a chromoly from the States, I don't know. But at any rate, so Rands had Rands bicycles made in Taiwan. Easy Racers, up until this bike, did not make a bike in Taiwan. They did not. They designed bicycles, licensed the design to Sun, and Sun would have the Sun Easy Tandem, the Sun Easy One, the Sun Easy Easy Sport. And it would say on it somewhere, relatively small writing, designed by Easy Racers. And I'm sure Easy Racers was getting a cut of that or whatever. I don't know the business relationship. Anyway, the Stratus LE moved production to Taiwan. The Stratus was the Stratus, but then what happened was the LE model moved over there, and so you could buy like the flagship bicycle from Rands made in Taiwan. This was Easy Racers' answer, but they didn't want it to be a Sun. A couple things they didn't want. First of all, they didn't want it to be a Sun bike. It had to be branded Easy Racers. Every piece on this bike is branded Easy Racers. The frame, the handlebar holder, the cranks, the hubs, everything, it says Easy Racers on it. So that's the number one thing. The second thing is the design that was licensed was an older design. This is not the latest and greatest Tour Easy, even though it was made in 2010, you'll notice. Twin tubes right here, before I replaced it, was the old jockey wheel derailleur looking thing. And the other thing is it only came in two sizes. It came in like a regular and a large. This one right here, if I had a 1/2 inch more X seam, I would not be able to ride this bike. So it is maxed out as far as the pushing the seat back. Any more, and I would have had to do something else. This bike has a fatal flaw that I say is bad enough that you make sure you do not want to ever buy one of these until you check this. And that is the seat. Now I had this apart and I made a video and it screwed up and I got fed up and I deleted that one. And I'm not taking that cover off again to try to show you this. I want to do the best I can from showing it from the bottom. But let me explain this now. This seat is a Sun seat. Okay, this is a Sun seat. If you look at the struts and everything, it's Sun, top to bottom, right? Nothing, no electrical tape, no radiator clamps, no parachute cord. This is all Sun. Let me crawl down here. This is not Sun. This is a carbon fiber pan made by Easy Racers and handmade by Easy Racers. And it is basically riveted to the seat frame. Now, as I come up here, you're going to see the problem. When you bolt this thing down, it actually does not go parallel with the frame. You see this? That's my modification. Without that, this thing is going to sit between 1/4 and 1/2 inch off of the frame until you go over bumps, in which case the whole frame bounces up and down. Now here's something that you don't know. That's a relatively thin piece of steel that's fastened under there. So the steel is going to bend. The carbon fiber is not. And the fasteners are inadequate. So they're pulling down on the carbon fiber. It's not attached very well. It ends up cracking the carbon fiber, fracturing the epoxy. And once you fracture the epoxy, you're just dealing with a piece of cloth. It breaks apart, it's garbage, and you're done. So the fix is to shim the back. Shim the back of that seat to where it builds a bridge between that and your seat fasteners, right? I have had this bike was bought in 2010. The original owner, who I met by chance, that's a story in and of itself. After the second seat pan, he traded it in on a California-made Tour Easy. I bought this at the same shop not knowing that, and I met the guy in Yellow Springs, and he said, you know, I had a bike like that, and he said, I actually like it better than the one I have now. The only problem is I couldn't keep the seat together. Well, we had exchanged a couple questions and answers, and all of a sudden he said, hey, I think that's my bike. And I said, I think I got your bike. And he said, you had any seat pan problems? And when I showed him the modification, he said, you want to trade bikes? Because what he said, his words, not mine, could have been the tires. Could have been the tires, could have been anything. But he said this bike ran better than the American-made one that he had. That he was on. And that bike looked nice, but it wasn't, I guess he liked this one better. I did not trade him because I have done an awful lot to this to get it just exactly the way I want it. Modifications are, I've pulled those handlebars back so I can actually reach them because I got the seat all the way back. I've got fenders from Planet Bike. I've got a Planet Bike computer on there. Bottle cages front and back, and a rack with a fairly large bag / saddlebags. And I just love it. I love it. This bike is perfect. It fits me. It's zen. I've had other bikes. I've had other manufacturers, and no, this is it. The other thing I would add is that if you do get a front, if you do buy one of these, it is what's called a 451 front tire. Looks like a standard 20-inch. It is not. It's a slightly larger. The 451 tires are out there. They're not very common. So what you're going to want to do is make sure you definitely have a spare tube with you when you're rolling. And, Source tires out there. I've got a Schwalbe 1 on the front there, and that thing will fly. That's a very low resistance tire, and the wheels are fantastic. Let me see what else. One more thing is, this is a jet set. That's upside down, but that's a jet set wheel on the front, and then the back has a Alex Rims DA22. That's stock. I don't know if the manufacturers here couldn't make both rims, but that's what you have is mismatched rims from the factory. That's the way they came. As far as the seat pan goes and the idler and little things that maybe were wrong with it, what happened? Why did they not improve on it? And why did they not continue making it? Once the paths got built out, the path network, and the trikes didn't have to be on the road and they didn't sit so low, and the trike market came down to that $1,000 price point with a lot of the lower end trikes, these long wheelbase bikes were gone. People would go in and try, I can't really ride it, it's too long, I can't transport it. Well, here's a trike for the same money or less. And that was that. So anyway, this is a Tour Easy LE. The telltale signs, in case you want to know, Easy Racers on the fork, an Easy Racers badge, Tour Easy with font like that. They come in gray and white. And the big telltale would be this Sun seat frame. If it is a true Easy Racers bike with a true Easy Racers seat, that will probably be the biggest thing that you see. Anyway, that's it. The Tour Easy LE.